What is up, fish brothers and sisters? We are back, and hopefully you are enjoying our series with our NPCs. Hopefully it's looking alright to you guys so far, anyways. I think we did a pretty good job. I think, depending on your game, that's a pretty good start. Hopefully you agree. You probably wouldn't be back if you weren't. So, alright, well, let's get started, and we'll just do some other parts of his body, obviously. We will work our way down to his feet, and hopefully everything's still looking okay by the end. Alright, everybody? Alright, I'm going to boost him up a little bit. It's going to be a little easier for me to see. Do whatever is good for you. And when you're ready, go ahead and push Shift A. We'll use a mesh like we always do. We'll make a cube like we always do. And we'll go into edit mode, and we're going to hit Control B. And like always, we'll just kind of make it the shape. And then we'll reverse this all after we've added a few. Depends how many you want. Let's just do 4 for now. I'm going to do 4. You can do more. And we'll do this process again. Maybe not that far. And then just try to evenly get yourself circled. I'm just trying to even the phases. It's going to give it a better texture overall. I think it worked out on our last couple. And I'm going to completely round this one, unlike our arms and our chest from our last one. Okay. We will get out of edit mode. We'll stay in normal mode. So tab out if you need to. Alright. And let's shrink this down until we get a basic arm shape. Use your imagination. Okay. When you're happy, moving in around to in place. This could probably have to be a little bit of wiggling around to get it exactly in place. But when you're happy, okay, that's where I'm happy, I think. Pretty good. Might want to move it on a slight angle like the last one. But let's go ahead and copy it first. Before we do that, we'll go over here. And we'll just put it on the... Let's test, actually. Yeah, okay, so we'll just put the minus here. I think I might have moved it. I don't know how I moved it. Yeah, we're going to delete that. I'm going to do that better. Sorry about that. I think I hit the arrow. There we go. Perfectly on the other side, okay? Now we have a symmetrical guy. Usually, when you start, you're going to be in the A pose or the T pose. So it's just going to be easier to match your skeleton up that way. So we'll angle the arms with the sleeves, and hopefully it gives us close to an A pose. You can make your own bones too. That's probably what I'd recommend, but you're going to have to find your own way. That's not the right one. We're just going to find the right angle. That was not the right one. Okay. And this got to be the right one. Okay. So maybe move it a bit more for it centered into your shirt. Again, you can use the same piece over if you want to make a sweater. But I'm just going to give our guy a t-shirt for the example today. And so we do minus 15 on this side. Alright, and we'd move it out and center it. Try to get it around the exact spot if you can. This should be pretty close. I probably could have made that a little more symmetrical, but that's fine, I'm sure. Alright, our next part. We're going to have to connect at the elbows. Maybe we'll go a little skinnier on our arms. Let's hope it doesn't move it. Let's see. Yeah, we're alright. Okay. Just a little bit skinnier. This looks a little better. Okay. It's going to be hard to guess the arm length, and that's all we have right now. We may have to adjust them, but let's just go ahead and do our best. Shift D, we'll duplicate. We'll take the 15 out of it, and we'll make it a 90. No, let's not actually. Let's make that 0 there. Okay. And then 90 there. That's better. That's more what we want. Okay. And we're going to change this angle, but let's just move it up for now. Hopefully this is around the arm shape you want. And we'll leave them inside of each other to try to cover each other up, basically. It looks like we're a little wide this way, but let's move over. How does that look? I think we're looking pretty good. You may have to move it around. I'm giving you examples, so this isn't going to be perfect, but I'm just giving you an example, alright? I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit. As arms go down, they tend to taper and be smaller near the bottom and bigger near the top, just to give it a bit more style. If you disagree, go ahead and pause the video while you make it your way. That's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with doing things your way, right? When you're ready, we'll put this on the other side with Shift D and then adding a minus to the location. Alright, so you have two arms, okay? Probably not the angle we're going to want to put them on, but we wanted to duplicate them before we go ahead and change it too, right? So it's 90, so let's try 75 and see which way we go. Okay, that's the wrong way, so we'll go 105. Okay, it's probably a little better what we're looking for. Okay, now I don't know about the length of his arms. Again, we're going to have to probably just make it and see what happens. What would be 95 plus 15 minus 15 would be 75, I believe, right? Oh, that went the wrong way. I guess it's the same thing. 105. Alright. My bad. Usually it's the opposite. I guess I'm thinking about it wrong. Maybe let's move these back a little bit like that. Okay. Pretty good arm shape. You may want to get in there. Mess with the elbows a little bit if you need to, just to make them a little better. I think it looks pretty good. But again, it's up to you. And I'm just giving you an example, so I'm not going to take the time to make it perfect. But if you want to, I'm sure you could just mess with these just a little bit to make them look a little bit better. Looks like I can move this out this way just a hair. And this one this way just a hair to kind of blend them in with the arms a little better. You see? Okay. Alright, let's just keep going. Shift D. Now before we move it too far, let's just go ahead and change this back to 90 for it's not dragging at a weird angle and we don't get it in a weird positioning. Okay? Alright, we'll shrink it. If you haven't guessed, we're going to go for the shape of a palm of a hand with this one. If you want to remake it, you can. If you think it's just not the right shape or whatever you're going for. I think I'm okay with this. Just going to kind of plug it in, see what we got. We can change up here, we're in the painting mode, we can change it back to viewpoint. And you can see a little bit better what you're doing here. You can see more what it looks like or what's going to look like. I think that's the right look we want. Again, you might want to adjust it. You could put it on the same angle as the other one by changing it to 105 when we're ready. Okay. And maybe let's make that a little shorter. Okay. And we'll pull it out a little bit to show off that there's a joint more. You see how it curves in and curves out? I think that'll work. Again, you do you. If you've got a better idea, you go ahead. No problem. Let's just do one of these. A little minus. For we are on the other side at the exact same spot. Okay. Make sure you're happy. Okay. If you're happy, Shift D. And we're just gonna this time just leave it on this angle. Okay. Alright. We're gonna shift it this way. We're gonna shift it this way. And we're going to shift it this way until it is around the size of a thumb you would like to have. Okay? Let's take this and move it up there a little bit. Maybe stick it out a bit more. If you want to slide the angle a bit more that way, since we changed it, maybe do uh-oh. Oh, sorry, I thought I froze there. Alright. Maybe that. Maybe a little more. 120. 130 until you're happy. Until it's where you want your thumb to be. Put it in the position you want your thumb to be. Okay. Shift D for this one. And maybe we'll try doing something a little different, and we'll make the hand a little bit easier on the other side. Okay, so I just deleted the other hand. Okay, let's start. Make our middle finger, guys. And I know that's going to be funny to some. Haha, we're making a middle finger. Alright, so it does look pretty bad. Okay, it's funny to me too. No big deal. Alright. Let's drag it to this side, because finger is going to be one side of the hand. Maybe we want to make the palm a little thinner, it looks like. Maybe something like that. Alright, it's looking pretty good. We'll just duplicate the fingers, Shift D. Okay? If you want to angle them a little bit away from each other, it might make more sense. As they get away from the middle one, you want to make them just a hair more skinny, a hair shorter. Middle finger is going to be the longest finger. You'd think it'd be the pointing finger, wouldn't you? Right? Maybe we want to make them a bit skinnier in general. It looks like we're going to have problems fitting them all on, so maybe we'll do that in general. Okay? So we'll go a little bit more like that. And I may have to move these around a little bit. Take your time. Make them look good. Make them look like you want them to for your game. Okay? Looks like they're a little too fat that way now. And we're going to duplicate these, so we should be able to just do that together. Shift D. You can also, if you don't want to adjust the size, you just kind of stab them in more. A bit more. Like that. Right? So we got 4 now. So maybe we'll move this one down a hair. And one more. Shift D. Okay? And I think we got our hand shape. If you need these to have a bend in the middle, go to each one, and or just go right from the beginning and do that. Oh, sorry. Go to edit mode and push Control R. And you can put a line through the middle, or if you right click that and undo it, you just go to edit mode and find one of these rings. Go up here. Okay? And you can highlight the ring with left click and then Control left click, and you can move the bend in your finger just a little bit to kind of give you a knuckle. I'm not going to get that far in depth on this, so we'll probably use like an IK or something like that, for it'll know to bend itself, and it'll just mimic the UE4 skeleton or the UE5 skeleton depending on your project or which project I'm working on. But I think you get the idea of what I'm trying to say anyways. I'm just going to adjust these fingers a little bit more. They do look a little bit funny still, so maybe something like that. Let's go up here a little bit with you. And you're going to have to find your own style for it looks just right to you, okay? And that's fine. So once I'm ready, I'm going to go ahead and do this and Shift D. I'm going to see if I can drag it over. Yep. Let me, since they're all on the same axis and they're all made from the same piece, it wasn't so awkward to drag the whole thing over. It didn't shatter when I tried. So when you're happy again, looks like we might have to move this one down just a hair. Okay. Grab all your fingers, just your fingers and not your palm, and move them back, because on the other hand they're on the opposite side, okay? It's just going to give you more of a palm in the middle and a lined up hand on the outside. And again, hopefully you're happy with that. If not, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to kind of make it your style, fix it the way you need to. But I'm just giving you an example to go from, remember? Okay, so we'll move on to the next part, where we will design, I don't know if we should do pants or shorts. I guess pants would be more common. So maybe we'll try to rock some pants, boys. And girls. I should say, and girls. But first, let's just, since we don't have to bool from this, let's just attach a few of these things, okay? I'm pretty sure you're going to want them to be attached, but I could be mistaken depending on which engine you're using, things like that. So if this doesn't apply to you, you don't have to do it. Okay? But I'm pretty sure for the UE skeleton thing to work, that these all have to be attached. So I'm going to go ahead and attach them for now. Right. So now we will go ahead and do our pants. Why do I always use a cube? I even laugh at myself when I'm doing it. Like, why are you using a cube for this? But then I do it. Alright, I'm going to use a cube. You can use the shape you want, depending on your mannequin. Your NPC, if you're following along with me, you probably want to do what I'm doing. You don't have to, though. It's a free world, baby. Alright, so try to basically match the pants, or the shirt above. We're obviously going to grow a little bit. Okay. When you're ready. This could be a little hard to do. You're probably going to want to be a little wider than above, because your bottom side usually tends to be a little bigger than your top side. Could be mistaken, depending on the human, I guess. Okay. And the next thing is we're probably, okay, maybe a hair bigger. I'm poking through on the one side. Want to overlap these a little bit too, and the reason being is when you do things like bend over, your back stretches and your legs stretch and things like that, and you don't want your guy to separate most likely. So just by giving it a bit of overlap like that, we should be able to keep that from happening, hopefully. And if I'm wrong, I'm very sorry about that. Go to edit mode, click off, click R, click this, move it up, and choose up here somewhere where you want his belt to be. We're going to give him a belt. Alright, good work. Okay, now Control R again. I don't know why that won't go through. Why won't you go through? Should have went all the way through, but didn't. Okay, I'm going to undo that one. We'll try doing it a different way, and hopefully it looks okay. So we're going to go to the vertices. We're going to click that one, and then we're going to click that one. We're going to hit J. Okay. This one, and hit J. And what we've done is join the lines on the bottom sides. We did it manually, but it's nonetheless the same thing. So now, let's try putting a third line in between those two. And you know what? It finally did it. I don't know why it didn't go all the way through before, but good enough. We got it. Okay, and why I did that, of course, is when we raise this one, now it's going to taper the edges instead of putting a weird draw in the middle. And it's just going to give us a bit more of a pant look, if you ask me. And again, if you don't like it, you can definitely do your own thing and change it however you like. But I'm just going to do that for our pant look, because I feel like it's a pretty decent pant look. Maybe I'll make the lag pieces a little circular, like a different piece, just to make them fill in that gap a bit. I don't like how big this gap is, but I think we're going to use it the way it is. Okay, let's keep going. Is there a different way I can do this? Sorry, I'm just thinking. Yeah, let's do this a different way, guys. I just don't like the way that looks. Yeah, let's do it a different way. So, what we're gonna do, we'll just make a cylinder. Let's just figure it out as we go, guys. I shouldn't have done it in that mode. Let's go back, undo, undo. Okay? Flip out of edit mode with tab and then shift A. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have put that cylinder in shift A. It makes it attach, and we don't want it to attach yet until we've got it in the right position. Otherwise we'll end up dragging the axis for this all over the place. So let's just get close to the edge up here, maybe a little through, like so. as close as you can to the edge, probably. Maybe in a little bit, and we'll grow a little bit. S. Okay. Shift D. Make sure there's room for one on the other side. Let's see what happens when we put it there. Just checking the axis. Okay, so it's too big. So we'll delete this one. We're going to have to shrink this a little bit, I guess. Move it over. Shift D until we get it right for, until we get it right for it fits on the other side. And that looks better. Okay. I think we'll go with that. Maybe we'll just stretch these out a little bit. And maybe you have a better way to do these, and that's fine if you do. I'm just doing examples. Maybe we'll erase this one, and that way we make sure they're the exact same height. Go down to where you think your knee would be. Alright, when you're happy, maybe just edge over. We're going to grab this middle part and we're going to shrink it a little bit because legs tend to taper towards the bottom. Alright, put it pretty far in the body, so maybe we should bring it a hair out, maybe shrink it a bit. Try to get the gauge between your thigh and where your knee is going to be. Something like that. Okay, left it in a bit for they don't separate, hopefully, when he's doing movements. Alright, so we'll shift D and we'll make sure it's on the other side and it still fits and I didn't ruin this when I scooted it over. Looks like it does. Looks like we're good. Okay. And then how will we do this? Probably shift D again. We'll go down. Let's do... No, let's not do that. Let's shrink this. Top side. Like so. Out of edit mode. Okay. Now, we're going to have to find a way to put a bend in the leg slightly for when your guy's standing there. He looks like he's actually standing and he's not a piece of wood. So, I like to put a bend in the leg. You guys don't have to, but you're welcome to come and do this with me. So that's the wrong way. I'm going to do -5. I believe that's the right way. Maybe I'll just delete that guy for now. Just again to keep it in proportions with the other one. Just a second, guys. I'm sorry. Actually, maybe we'll call that an episode and round it up. Actually, I just missed that call. No, I'm sorry. I'll finish this up. Sorry, guys. Getting a phone call in the background. I didn't mean for that to happen. Oops. Should we move that? I don't know. Let's move it back. Sorry about that. I'll keep going. Which one did we move? That one. Okay. So we'll do +5 on this one. And just make sure it lines up with the last one. Okay? Try your best. Maybe you want to shrink it a little bit. It's a little easy to make it fit into this one. You got less of a issue with the joints. Okay? And then down here, we're going to grab this in edit mode and just shrink it a little bit as well. Alright, now it may not be perfect, but I think we've got a pretty good NPC going. Right? Maybe we'll just finish the foot off and then we'll just copy it to the other side. I can't get a good position. So, Shift A, and then we're gonna go ahead and make a cube, because that's what we do. We're cubies. Cubies. Alright, move it over till you're happy. We're gonna go to edit mode, Control B. We're gonna wait till we get our perfect circle. Alright, and now hopefully edit mode gone. We're going to go into regular mode. Hopefully we're going to make some shoes. Okay. Now again, I'm just making you a basic model. If I made everything in so much detail, I'd be hours showing you, and I'm probably already am hours in showing you. So again, you're going to have to make it more of a shoe on your own. I'm going to say that's good enough for my guy. Just making a basic NPC. Make sure it's centered on his foot. When you're happy, we are going to go grab the foot. No, we're going to grab the top of the leg, grab that, grab this. And then we're going to go ahead and Control J. And then we're going to Shift D. And then we're going to put it on the other side, which should be the middle. I'm just going to undo that. I moved it a bit. So go ahead and put a minus here. And we have our other foot. Now, as you can see, our shoes are too fat. So before we do that, we'll delete this. We'll click back on this. We'll go to edit mode, highlight just the foot with L. Make our shoes a little thinner. Okay? Not a big deal. Easy to fix. Flip back, Shift D. Alright, put our minus on this side. And where our shoes are missing each other. Alright. Okay, his waist looks a little off, so let's see what we can do about that real quick. But I think you guys have basically got your NPC. Let's click on the middle, let's go to edit mode and see if we can do a bit of adjustments to make them look just a hair better. And I'll leave it up to you guys if you want to do these things. You don't have to. If you think it looks better, go ahead and do it with me. If you don't want to leave them, that's fine. Okay, I'm just trying to get to a spot where I can see this a bit. Zooming in. Flip to my vertice, grab this, and I'm just going to kind of drive it under. Oof. Yeah, that didn't go well, did it? Looks like we're not going to be able to do that. And we'll flip the lines, and we'll just, flip the faces, grab the middle, and see what happens when we just bring it up just a hair. Let's see if it makes it look better. Not great, no. Okay, well. Well, move it around till you're happy. Okay, I'm going to flip back into normal mode, grab the legs, grab the body, connect them, Control J. We are now one. The head's the move point. Go back to our coloring. Let's see if we can make them look a little better with coloring, okay? And we'll flip to edit mode. And we'll flip to materials. And we already have a black, so let's do our shoes real quick. Alright. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. Let's undo that. I don't even know how I did that. Oh. I must have had them highlighted somehow. So make sure you clicked off everything when you go into edit mode. Again, I don't know why. Oh, maybe they're not. Okay. Sorry about that. Sign. Okay. We'll give his legs and pants a color. I don't know what they'll be, but let's just do this. We'll hit L over each one of them. We'll push plus, new, and we will make it dark blue. Sign. It's a different color than the other side than the shirt there. So we could tell our pants and shirts apart. If you just want to do a bit more detail, let's grab these. We'll hit Control, left click, and just work your way around his belt. Control, left click, Control, left click. Make sure you get them all. Shift, left click for the last one. And we will also make this black, maybe. Okay. Just give him a waistline. Again, up to you what you want to do with the coloring, if you want to change a bit more of it. But I would save this off as a file right now, when you're done, just as basic NPC. And remember that all these colors can be changed, and all these shapes can be still changed a bit too if you don't like what you have or you just want to do it a bit different. I do think that some of these things could be a bit better, but I just don't want to take the time and make you guys wait while I fix them. So I'll give you this and you fix it up a little bit. We'll meet back in the next one and we'll do hair, and maybe we'll fix his shoes before we go. While we're in this mode, just hit L, switch the shapes, and maybe make his shoes a reasonable size. I don't know how that happened. Got a little too big. Alright, it's probably not so clownly now anyways, right? Alright, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys for stopping in and hanging out with Fish while we made some cool NPCs. If you'd like to leave a comment about it or what you're doing or what you'd like to see in the next ones, let me know. Make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, you know, all that stuff that you do. Subscribe. I did say that. Alright, and you can check out my game, Fished in a Town to Remember, in the subscription below or in the description below. Should be there, a link to it. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope we had a good time together today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.